Vai mostrar ela. Ela amassando, tentando amassar o Gilgamesh. Na mitologia, ela não gosta dele porque ela deu fora nele, não foi alguma coisa assim? Mano, o Gilgamesh, ele era um mortal que deu fora de uma deusa? É isso mesmo? Se ele não é um Gigashed, não sei quem que é. Ele é um Sigma, tá ligado? Sigma male. Nossa, vamos ver a mulher em game agora, vamos. ISHTAR. O card dela tá muito bonito, velho. Deusa da guerra e do amor.
So ISHTAR as a character is this kind of very strong feminine figure throughout the entirety of the Babylonian mythos. And so she basically her entire deal is that she wants.
Eu não consigo entender como que eles têm esse microfone que é caro pra cacete e o áudio ainda é ruim, velho. Eu fico de cara com isso. É um dos melhores mics que tem, tá ligado?
Her conflict with Gilgamesh, which is a really big part of her lore, is that one of the most famous Babylonian texts that exists, period, is the Epic of Gilgamesh. And so the reason that Gilgamesh actually goes on his quest, which, all starts basically back with ISHTAR, who approaches him, basically courts him and says, hey, let's get married. Yeah.
Ela quer casar com ela?
Has heard of ISHTAR before. And so he knows that ISHTAR is, while she's really representative of a lot of really powerful feminine traits, including being a goddess of love, she's more of a love in an intimate way, not so much the cutesy, like Cupid or Aphrodite way that we all come to know. Instead, she basically she wants to use Gilgamesh basically for his power. But
ela queria ele porque ela queria usar ele. Uma galera aí ia querer ser usada por ela, hein?
She does not really take the rejection very well, and so she actually goes to On, the god of the sky, and he says, hey, look, I know that you're upset right now. I'm going to help you out. Yeah. I'm going to give you the bull of heaven, which is this mythical creature. And so what she does then is
Por que não conta isso depois? Mostra a deusa pra nós, carai.
And then that basically, it doesn't directly lead to Enkidu's death, but what happens is Gilgamesh and Enkidu fend off the bull of heaven. And they try to fight back at ISHTAR by actually taking the leg of the bull and throwing it at him. And so, by disrespecting the gods, it ends up in getting Enkidu killed, which then sends Gilgamesh on his quest for immortality. It is a deep
a história do Gilgamesh é basicamente por causa dela, basicamente.
What brought her to that point, but there are various other stories about her going on conquest, like going to the underworld and trying to take that over from her sister.
Oh wow. That's cool.
Ué, ela tem uma irmã no submundo? Oh, pode lançar também, hein?
Let's check out the card art real quick. I want to
Oh
see
yes,
it so
please. And this card art is
tem uns leões aqui. Será que tem a ver com o kit? Mano, o card tá bonito, tá?
All of Babylonian mythos, gods tend to have this kind of crown, which have horns in them. And, the more horns that they have, it tends to be symbolic of how powerful they are. So,
quanto mais chifre, mais poderoso.
We've got the bow. Obviously, she's shown to be this armed to the teeth goddess.
Ih, caralho.
So you see that she has a bow. She has some swords on her back.
Quanto mais chifre, mais poderoso. Aí é fica.
She's got some relations to, of course, storms, and so storms are said to have the roar of
Zuriga é um deus.
They make. So of course there's connections to lions, connections to storms, and you'll see a little bit more of that in her kit as well. And then another small detail in this card that I do want to point out is you'll see some scorpion tails on the ground. So on that
rabo de escorpião no chão.
Well, she fought him too, even though he helped her. And so during that fight, On turned into a giant scorpion, and she slew him. So that's why there's scorpions all over the ground.
She an unstoppable force of nature, this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and there it is in game.
And here we are in game. Another really
Ok,
cool
bonita.
She is
no card tá mais bonito do que no game, mas tá bonito em game também.
She's got the leather. She's got various metals and jewelry. She's very blinged out, right? She loves to be the center of attention.
Bem brava a cara dela, né?
She's
É mulher que bate no homem.
her whole idea is to basically move in and out of fight, in and out of combat.
É tipo Belona, bem puta da vida, tá ligado?
Is what gets it done.
Yeah, literally, like you said, armed to the teeth, but also dressed to impress. So,
Absolutely.
Literally the best of both worlds there, and I can't stop staring at the arrow, by the way. That is
It's so cool.
tantalizing.
Não paro de olhar pra flecha. Ah, sei bem.
It's been so long since I felt the sweet bliss of battle. My blood is pumping just thinking about it.
Esse sotaque que eles colocaram da Babilônia ficou... É muito legal, velho.
Like ready to get into the battleground and wreak some havoc. And what better thing to do after hearing that than go into the battleground and let her wreak some havoc? Let's check this out.
Mostra, dali.
Yes. Oh, there she is.
Oh, tá
She
poderoso
is-
os ícones.
Pose going on.
Yeah.
She's just waiting for some enemy to show up so she can beat them up. She's
Mano,
rolling
essa
around.
mina bate no marido pra caralho, tá? Ela espanca o marido, na verdade.
Really cool. But one thing actually to point out here is that you can see just in her stance and how she's walking, she has a very unique strafe animation where she's not actually turning back and forth. She's always ready. She's got her bow in her hand, ready to shoot. And so she's just hanging on to it at all times and not turning. So
É a Nif essa porra aqui? Olha, igualzinho.
And we'll be getting into that a little bit more when we get into her kit.
Awesome.
O ataque básico.
Before we get into the
I was
kit,
gonna say bow hunter as well. When's the last
Yes.
time we've had a bow hunter?
It's been so
a
long.
while.
Maybe Hachiman was the last
I
one?
think so.
Wow.
5 years, I
That's
think.
been a long
so
time.
Mano, fazia 5 anos que não lançavam um ADC com arco e flecha.
Let's just get a showcase of the kit. Let's see it all at once.
Dali, mostra tudo. Hachiman. Ah, porra. Nossa senhora. Que é isso? Não, louco! Ela tem um backflip também, velho. Nem fudendo que ela tem um backflip, mano. Ela tem um backflip?
Yeah,
You see all of that and you're like, that looked really cool.
that's insane.
I don't know what any of that was. That's what we're here for. That's what we're ready to break it
We
down. Yeah.
do.
So let's just start off with the basic attack. So I mean,
Tá,
super
ataque
cool basic
básico.
attack. You
Normal.
got a shot. We haven't seen arrows in a long time, and even still, these arrows are incredible. They're like these lightning arrows, I guess.
They're kind of lightning. They're also kind of holy energy because remember she's the queen of heaven. So
That's
what
true.
she's doing is she's kind of harnessing this heavenly, again, kind of lightningy energy because she's got that throwback to the storms with the
Yeah.
lions and things like that. So it's kind of a combination of lightning and holy energy that she's shooting.
Like holy.
Tá, ela joga trovão, energia santa.
Let's get to the passive then. I see the little marker there for it, which looks fantastic. The passive is called
Passiva.
Mark of Vengeance.
Marca da vingança.
Yeah, so again, Ishtar is kind of a vengeful goddess. When people
seems
piss
that
her
way.
off, she's going to fight back. So how this works is that anytime that you get beneath 75% health, the passive will trigger. And so what that means is it's going to mark the enemy that most recently hit you.
Toda vez que você fica com menos de 75% de HP?
Eight-pointed star that you see here, that's the marker. And so what happens is every single time that you auto-attack them, you get attack speed up to a stat cap. And then when you kill them, during that point, you also get movement speed. But again, it has to be while the passive is active. And you'll
Tá,
see there that
quando o
the
cara te dá
damage
um dano alto em
goes
você,
back up as it's returned
você
to
marca o
full.
cara.
So it only
Aquele
happens
cara
when
que
the
você tá
damage is
acertando
full. And again, you'll see it's activated
vai
now.
te dar ataque speed. A cada básico que você dá.
Kills him.
E se, e se matar ele, eu ganho move speed.
Okay, that's super cool, and I love the visual cooldown.
E pelo jeito não tem que dar um dano muito alto, só tem que dar dano nela. Ela fica puta. Você bateu nela, ela quer dizer, ah, bateu em mim, sou machista. É assim que funciona.
Cool. That's just incredible. I absolutely love that. So
Ó, machista, toma. É tipo isso.
On the marked target will give you the movement speed, but you have to hit with basic attacks to get the attack speed.
Se você ganhar um kill assist, você ganha move speed. Se você acertar o cara com ataque baixo, você ganha ataque speed. Ok, passiva nada demais.
like overhead thing.
Nada demais.
Horns glowing and stuff there?
Yes, there's actually very special effects treatments going on across.
Mais ou menos
You'll
a
notice that you
passiva.
have the attack speed when your bow is glowing in the center, and then also when her horns glow is how you know that you have that passive attack speed going
That
on.
is super cool. All right, well, cool. And yeah, I guess we'll
There
just.
it is.
Okay, yeah,
Nice.
there it is.
O chifre brilha quando tá na passiva ativada.
Awesome.
E o arco também brilha na passiva.
Next up, we have ability 1 called Imbue Arrows. So there's a little more to this ability than meets the
É
eye.
como uma trocação, né?
All right. So
Número 1.
you'll notice that this is not a a regular ability, one might say. It is kind of a soft stance switch. You're not really switching stances.
Ela troca de instância na
You
1.
instead are switching your auto attack. So
Troca o auto-ataque.
press 1, your abilities 1, 2, and
Ah, a 1, 2, 3 muda tudo.
and so there are actually 3 different
Você
basic
tem
attacks
3 formas de dar auto-ataque com ela. 4 no total.
shooting. I think let's start off with the variation at the first there, strike
A
shot.
1, 1.
So this is a lob
Caralho!
shot that basically creates the strike.
Olha, toma!
Area of effect, which is great. And so each of these
Vira o Silvanos, cara.
different use case strike shot has
Pela parede.
in this area. It can also be shot over walls. But
Pela
it can also
parede.
deal less crit
Ah, pela parede, né?
So, lob, bonus damage, less crit damage, but also over
Ó, pela parede, né, gente? Ó.
Alright, well, I mean, now I have to know what the next
E é o dano do básico inteiro? Não ouvi.
The next one is called spread shot, and so
Spread shot.
is in a cone, and so basically this will shoot out 5 projectiles.
Que maneiro isso, velho.
You'll still be doing 100% of your basic attack damage, and the other ones will be doing less. But yeah, the whole idea is
Que
that
maneiro
the
isso.
harder someone, the more arrows that you're shooting at once, and the
O
more
do
damage.
meio dá o dano maior e o do lado vai dar menos dano.
cool. I love that too, 'cause, you know, tank comes up to get in your face, you have a pretty solid high damage response, it looks like.
Yes, and one important thing to note about this is that spread shot only procs item effects on the center arrow. So
Só
you're not
proca
getting
item
items
no
inside,
item do meio.
galaxies.
Só vai procar item no hit do meio,
Only getting
tá?
one from that center
Não
arrow.
proca no lateral.
To, you know, be accurate, but you're doing a bunch on the side too, even if you're
Yes.
not perfectly accurate. That's really cool.
Exactly.
So I believe there is one more imbued arrow.
Yes, the last one is called Storm Shot, and so this one
Storm
is
shot.
long-range
Storm shot.
And how this works and what the trade-offs are with this is that the shot will of course go farther. That's your advantage.
Vai mais
Less
longe.
damage.
Vai dar menos
You
dano.
have another kind of trade-off for this, but your projectile speed's actually increased by 20%. So if these guys
É a 1 do Xhitoman
they go farther,
que atira mais rápido.
Use this with Griffin.
O projétil é mais rápido.
they go so bad.
O projétil é mais rápido.
Cool. I really
Dá menos dano, mas vai mais longe e o projétil é mais rápido.
Yeah, that
Ok.
was one.
incredible. And,
Yeah.
and I love all of the
E
options.
não, ele não comentou se atravessa. Eu acho que não atravessa nada, não.
Help you for poking around a fire giant or around a major objective. There are some that are going to help you for clearing lane. I mean, if there's a team fight happening over the wall, what could it hurt to lob some arrows?
Não acerta a torre fora.
I really do love that you have all of this variety here.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it's incredibly exciting.
Ah,
And one
e ganha attack
important thing
speed?
that our driver is showing off is that none of these
Ah, ganha attack
hit
speed.
structures. So basically, you can't hit towers from outside the range. You also can't destroy things like Terra Pillar or Don.
Ah, a 1 não pega.
And that's just consistent across all of our other stims that change your basic attack in some way. That's just how they work.
Então, a 1 é pra fazer lane phase.
Exactly the same.
A 2
And yeah, that's
deve ser
important.
pra fazer buff ou focar um cara de perto. A 3 é poke de longe.
So cool. I love the variety, and I'm gonna love being able to play with that. So next up, second ability.
A 2.
Thunder.
Yeah, so this one is, you'll see there's a bunch of circles there. So how this
Vários
works is that,
círculos.
ISHTAR calls down 4 strikes of lightning that proceed in a line. But the cool thing about this is you can decide which way you want the lightning strikes to proceed, either going from ISHTAR and out.
Ah,
And so each of these circles does damage.
que maneiro.
The exciting part about this ability is that if
Você escolhe se o trovão vem ou vai.
they are mesmerized.
E dá,
The whole goal with this is to try
se
to
pegar 2 vezes, dá uma mesmerize
to
ainda.
people kind of in this line, and of course to set up for your other abilities with that mess.
Yeah. That is super cool, and I love the fact that you can have it come from behind as well.
Que maneiro essa skill, velho.
Throw it out from you know? It gives the it shows the enemy what you're doing. They have to react to it, like you said, good zoning. But if you're trying to start an
Tum,
engage
tum,
lane or
tum,
something,
tum, tum. Ó, que maneiro, velho.
coming because that's behind them. They'll hear it.
Yep.
But you get to drop on them and you get to start your engage on the upper hand. I
Yeah.
think that's really, really cool.
Except like in playtest when you're boxing on another hunter. If
Vai ser mais útil você usar ela de trás pra frente, porque é bem lenta, né?
ready to approach me, I drop it behind them and it just stops all aggression immediately. It's like, I got you.
Maneiro essa skill, tá?
Dangerously diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. Cool. So next up we have the
Cool.
third ability called Jolt.
Yeah, so Jolt is ISHTAR's movement ability, and so how this works is she basically dashes in a line.
Dá um dash pra frente e dá dano.
That's it. Okay, there is one other thing that this ability does
Se acertar
makes
um God.
it really exciting, and you'll notice that there's a circle that pops up when he's hovered over Odin. And go ahead and fire that. Yeah. So there is a conditional backflip on this ability that only goes off.
Se você acertar, você dá vrão e vrão. Toma.
Circle that pops up. That circle is actually doing basic attack damage in an AoE. So that can crit,
Dá um dano de... Aplica crítico e aplica efeito de item. Você pode gritar com essa skill.
Yeah, she is very, very agile.
Que ninja que ela é, velho. É um dash longo, tá?
Yeah, the other important thing to note is that no matter how close that you hit an enemy,
Será que conta como
always
pulo?
go back the same exact amount of units. So do keep that in mind when playing against ISHTAR, that she's always going to the same spot no matter where she's hitting.
Got it. So whether it's max range or whether you're right in their face, you're still backflipping that same distance.
Yep.
So if you're not trying to put distance between yourself, maybe save the
Tem como ele mudar a direção do pulo, será?
All right. So next up and finally, we
A ultimate dela é pica, tá?
Blades of Retribution.
Yeah, so this ability is really
Tá
her
ficando escuro,
teamfight
né?
tool. As you can see, it's a big old cone, and what happens is that she'll fire out 5 swords of light. And so on the way out, these swords are going to do damage. Each of them does their own individual damage, but if you're hit by multiple, they get reduced. So, you know, you're not going to get blown up if you're in point blank range. Each additional hit gets reduced up to a certain
E volta,
amount.
ok.
But on the way out, if you're hit by these swords, you are crippled.
Tá cripple,
So
ok.
that's
A
really
ult.
her big team fight play is throwing out the swords and crippling people, but when she calls them back, that's when
Quando
things get
volta,
exciting,
o que
because
acontece?
If you've been hit by the cripple already, and ISHTAR calls back the swords and you get hit again, then you're stunned. So then
Ah,
you're really in
se acertar a ida e voltar, dá stun. Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Vai dar o cripple e vai dar o stun.
It looks like you can kind of choose. Like there's a timer of when they come back, but you can also choose when you want them to come back.
Yeah, so you do
Ah,
have
e
the
você pode
ability to
puxar
rebuy,
antes.
kinda call them back whenever you want,
É
and
uma ult meio fraca, meio broxa, assim. Não há nada demais.
done with this ability in
Mas é
place.
maneira.
People have moved in different positions when their arrows come out, and called them back at certain different places and things of that nature. You can also shoot this over walls.
Ou,
So
numa
there's
TF isso aí é
been
pica, tá?
ISHTAR plays over in our playtests, and I really can't wait to see what you guys
Atravessa a
do.
parede, vai e volta.
It is so fun to be able to just throw out these swords.
E,
As
detalhe,
notice, they,
fica imune.
have this, marker at her feet showing
Ou
where
vai ter
the,
umas mecânicas legais com ela, tá?
come from. So, there's also some on the
Tipo isso que ele tá fazendo.
Yeah, you can see it on your feet, and then if we have our driver dash up to the swords, you can see as well that on the swords there is that little beam of light showing which direction they're gonna go.
That is incredible. And it's, I mean, also worth noting, as y'all are seeing,
Maneiro, maneiro.
you can use abilities in the middle of this. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
can use this to start a fight, switch to the shotgun arrow, or call down the lightning.
Tá,
and,
ela tem cripple, ela tem stun, ela tem mesmerize.
a lot of good, I mean, even
E só, né?
starting the team fight,
É, 3 controles. Pô, ela tá maneira, tá?
off somebody to get that distance and pulling
É um gosto que eu gostaria de jogar pra caralho.
Yeah, if you pull them back
Ó,
while
que
you're
maneiro
fighting,
isso. Olha que maneiro isso.
the last valid location
Ó o combo.
that, so your last valid location
Ó.
is the enemy player that's stuck there. So that's a guaranteed 5 hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, what a great
Ó que maneiro. Toma.
in playthroughs and with y'all having tested this, how do you think she's gonna
Deve que ela vai ser DC de ataque básico e crítico.
to see from this on the battlefield?
Yeah,
Ela não deve dar full power, não.
I'm really
Não
excited
parece,
to
pelo
see people
menos.
use her various forms of Imbue Arrows and all those different shots, and I think I really can't wait to see what people manage to cook up with Blades of Retribution too, because they.
Pô, esse combo parece satisfatório de fazer, velho.
I super agree. Well, I am super excited to see ISHTAR hit the battleground, but that's not all. of
Muito
it.
louco isso, velho.
We also have the obviously all the cool different
Ó.
skins and
Ooh,
colors
this
that
backing
drop.
animation
So,
too.
Vou cortar seu pinto, hein, ela falando.
Her. Pulling out the swords and everything. Yeah, as you can see, she does use her swords in various animations, whether that's pulling them out for the ultimate, and her backing animation,
Yeah,
she does it
yeah.
as well. And then even in her dash, she pulls out her swords and swipes at people along the way.
Oh yeah,
Ah, ela bate com as... É o Narutinho, velho. Tá com duas kunais.
so cool.
Yeah, though she's a hunter.
Se não tiver skin de ninja, eu vou ficar triste pra ela, velho. Jogar as kunai, tá ligado? Porra, tem que ter um skin de ninja pra ela.
Massive kudos to the art teams, the animation
Oh,
teams, the
so
effects
nice.
teams, sound effects.
Pô, muito pica ela, tá?
Yes, you're right.
I was about to say that. Yeah, actually, so we have stereo with the abilities, which is kind kind of a new thing. There have been a lot of
Estéreo?
inhibitors preventing us from being able to employ that earlier, but as always, our teams are iterating and trying new
Ou,
things and learning.
main ISHTAR,
And,
foda-se.
our teams work really hard together on this to make those abilities as immersive as possible with stereo sound. So they figured out how to make it work.
Som estéreo?
The first big showcase of that.
Agora vai mostrar a recolor dela agora.
Kind of figured out a way to get in at it, but that's something y'all are gonna notice is these abilities are going to sound so clean.
Yeah, definitely. I can say for certain when I've been
Gostei
playing
muito dela, velho.
playtest, it sounds so different, but in a great way.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel like you're the one performing these actions because you're hearing it out of both
Ai, que
ears
susto.
and, you know,
Essa sound tem
being
cooldown,
able to
será?
do that, and even playing against
O
your
longo,
team,
digo.
it's really easy to tell, like, when you're in the direct middle of things that are happening,
Ela
or
tá,
if
ela tá
you're
no modo
beside
foda-se
you,
aqui.
it really got
Ah,
the
não tem cooldown.
directionality nailed down. So huge shouts to the audio team for that.
Just incredible, and again, gonna be so excited to see.
Mano, por que você tá falando Rama 2.0? Ela não tem nada a ver com Rama.
Let's check out the recolors now, starting with Rose Warrior Ishtar.
Oh, sweet.
That is so good.
I love the art for all of her skins, but this one is
Tem nada a ver com a porra do Rama? Nem Artemis, Artemis 2.0. O que tem a ver com Artemis, rapaziada?
She is
Oh, she's
ferocious.
fierce, undeniably fierce.
Tem nada a ver com Artemis, nada a ver com Rama.
Backflip arrow shot.
Oh yeah.
So also kind of a flex, I think.
Yeah, she's
Essa-
flexing on all
essa é a recola normal, né?
Backflipping.
Right. Absolutely incredible. I don't know. I love pinks and purples and stuff. So anytime those are featured in a skin, I am immediately like, yep, I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
and the bright silver armor too. That just looks
Yeah, that's
incredible.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I love that, and as well as like the silver bow. Very sweet.
Very, very awesome. Absolutely love it.
Cadê a outra recola?
This, obviously, we also have the Ascended Ishtar, part of the 2022.
Now,
No!
the previous
Caralho!
I mean, you got
Damn! Que card bonito, cara!
Yeah,
Que isso?
like we don't really do these back shots very often where you see the god from like an angle behind them, but this just really feels like she is like,
Porra!
super into it. She is
Behind and below, like she just
Yeah.
slayed you.
Em game tá bonito, mas ela em card, meu Deus!
killing you, by the way.
end of team fight, scoff as she walks away and goes and takes the Phoenix or something. Like that's all there is to it.
This skin is incredible too, with the like rosy bronzes, and I mean the silver hair. Like, are you kidding
Ah,
me?
essa aqui é a limitada? Nossa, mas tá muito linda, cara, essa skin aqui.
And then, you know, after this, there's only one last
Maestria.
place to go, the masteries. You gotta see
Ok.
Oh, absolutely. And this art too is.
Cara, ela tem muito cara de quem espanca marido, velho.
I'm
Pisa no
so
marido,
excited
tá
for
ligado?
our art team. And I mean, the gold and blue just looks right with her, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
Quero ver a lendária dela.
It's just the expression is there's no fear there. There's just I will win. That's it. Game
Yeah,
over.
she will be winning.
She will be winning. I love.
Porra, tá louco demais, velho. E o marido gosta, ele gosta.
Like those are two of my favorite color combinations for all of the gods that come
Yeah,
out.
she looks very regal with these colors going on. I love it.
Yeah, the armor just looks so pristine. I love it.
Oh,
Ó, a lendária. Oh, ficou. Não, esquece.
real nice.
Especially
Esquece, é lendária, velho. Não tem como, velho. A lendária é muito pica, cara. Olha isso, mano.
Pattern on her-
E ela tem ela tem a pele escura, fica. Obrigado pelo seu sub no.
We're all
Oh, yeah.
Obrigado pelos 9
There it
meses.
is.
Né?
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Rose diamond.
Diamond as well.
Muito bom, muito bom.
It's so sweet. This is standout for sure.
Vai pro recebe, viu,
Really
Calf? Tamo
just,
junto.
like, the silver and other skin was great, right? But this is diamond.
Oh yeah, this is
Diamond. Não, o lendário é melhor, mas o diamante tá pica também. Ah, eu vou pegar diamante com ela. Foda-se.
Lerman's already got this game.
Vou pegar diamante com ela antes do Yu Huang, que veio antes.
one more thing we get to show off.
Mais
too.
uma coisa, o quê?
How about we look at her defeat screen real quick?
Oh my gosh, this is phenomenal.
Ah, a tela de derrota.
So again, we go back to the rivalry between Ishtar and Gilgamesh.
Que maneiro.
Playing a bunch of games, and she is not
Ela bate no marido, viu?
loses.
She does not take loss lightly. If she gets beaten, it's not
Oh.
like, oh man, I lost. It's like, I'm gonna rip you apart in the next one.
Ó, pegou a faca. Vou cortar seu pinto, igual eu falei mais cedo. Vou cortar seu pinto.
Gilgamesh's face in all of these too. He's